the aptly named Castle Street because it's going to take us to Dublin Castle. And City Hall at the bottom of the street, which you had a look at earlier. And here we go, Dublin Castle. Ballach Isteach means way in, which with my weight, I just hope I don't break the scales. And oh, I can see little fishies. But here we are. Many people will have seen this on many a thing. The famous clock tower. But here as we go, let's go inside the castle and get our little tour going. And this is the scene of many a state occasion, the courtyard. And please pardon me, but we're going to go into the sun in a moment. It's the wrong direction. That gives a better view. I remember donkeys and donkeys years ago. This is where you came for state occasion press receptions and just, you nipped in. You got as far as where that gentleman's standing over there, in behind the door. Had you a couple of drinks, a few little canapes, got the photographs taken, and you buzzed off. And the handover date being the 16th of January 1922. And according to the plaque we've just seen, the room over the archway, it seems, was handed over by the last Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, Viscounts Fitzalan of Derwent. And that was to the Provisional Government of Ireland, led by Michael Collins. Now, do bear in mind, as we're in Dublin Castle here, this is in the actual centre of the city. Well, as near as makes no difference. Dublin 2, short stone's throw from Trinity College and O'Connell Street. And that, I'm sure, is a view many of you will recognise from loads of television programmes. That's the Records Tower. Complete, of course, with medieval crane. And a more detailed view of the back of the castle. Renovations going on. And do bear in mind, all in the city centre, with no through traffic except for entering here, of course. Well, we've arrived in the state apartments. They put the red carpet out for me, so we'll go and have a look, shall we? Plenty of paintings on the wall, as would be expected, of course. Quite imposing, to say the least. That's the story of my life. Here's a fine portrait of King William IV when he was Duke of Clarence. This is in the waiting room, but I don't see any copies of Hello magazine. This is the Grand State Corridor, featuring all the presidents of Ireland nicely hung up in mounted photo frames. Originally, it was designed to separate the apartments of state on the left from the private apartments on the right. Delighted to say all those years ago I met Carol O'Dawley, one of the presidents, in the days when presidents were statesmen or stateswomen, and had the honour with Patrick Hillary for a scout event of going with some Sea Scouts, because I was a commissioner on his yacht off Dun Laoghaire. He was doing some training with the Scouts. Lovely man. Mary Robinson, I only met her when she was what they call a senator before she was elected. Again, the only reason I met these people was because I was a journalist back in those days. And there's Mary McAleese. And the Pixie.
Sure, hello. My name's Michael D. Higgins. I'm the president of, where the fuck? Oh, yeah, Ireland. And with immediate effect, like President Trump, we're changing the name of the Irish Sea to the Irish Sea.
Here we are in the Apollo room, and it has loads of figures and details of flowers with revealing signs and symbols, and the arts, hunting and music can be plainly seen. There's also a biblical story depicted in some of the paintings taken from the Book of Tobit, that's Tobit, as well as a painting of the scene from the Gospels for St. Mark. And then we move into the state drawing room, with drawing room coming from the tradition of withdrawing to a more comfortable room within a grand house. And it was decorated by the vicereine of the day, Lady Normanby, in 1838. Best known visitors to the state drawing room over the years was Queen Victoria. Telling us they're old and delicate. I do love the pre-Raphaelite rollers. Another little room here, which one would assume is the head of state room, more commonly referred to as the throne room. I wouldn't like to have to get the Astonish with vinegar out to clean that thing. At least 10, 12 feet high. And this is the portrait gallery with all the former viceroys hanging from the walls. And the view outside from inside. Well, of course, if I'm inside and that's outside, that's bound to be the case. This other stateroom here, the portrait gallery, this is called. On the 13th of March, 1897, there was a banquet held here. His Excellency Earl Cadogan, who was Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, in this here St. Patrick's Hall to celebrate 60 years of the reign of Her Majesty Queen Victoria. Now, are you ready to see this room? Magnificent it is too. Flags hanging up and loads of mirrors needing more Astonish with vinegar. Terrific, absolutely terrific. It was just, well, oh, a little balcony over there for the orchestra. More portraits of kings, queens and other ones, and a massive one here of King George III. In fact, it's so big you can almost say it's madness. George III, Magnus, oh, all right. Paintings after paintings, first suppers, last suppers, other suppers. And then I thought it was the Wedgwood room, but it's not. These are actual sort of canvases, not relief type things as they look. Order of the Knights of St. Patrick, and nothing to do with Vivienne Westwood. I don't know how they painted them, but I'm getting a pain in my neck looking at them. Goodness me, Michelangelo and all the rest, eat your heart out. And we're doing a bit of schlee-a-moching, which for the uninitiated, while it does mean exit, it means way out. Again, everything's about my weight. And the magnificent St. Patrick's Hall, which I was in, which I'm sure I went there for receptions, but I just can't remember. Just a bit of a blur all those years ago. Of that in Irish, críoch, which perfectly explains my actual method of walking around, críoching around. And there you have it, my brief visit to Dublin Castle and all the wonderful art and fixtures and fittings within.